Hakos here. It's the Conservative Syndicate. John is out still solo, or he's out on vacation. I'm still flying solo. What am I doing here? Oh my goodness. Anyhow, glad you guys could all be here. Looking forward to having some fun again. I think it's ought to be great. Hey, today's the first full work day of the Trump presidency. So, again, Joe Hakos here. Hopefully, going to get bumpy here, but not as bumpy as it was in the Pink Orifice March on D.C. over the weekend. Of course, we're gonna, tonight on the Syndicate, we're going to discuss Trump's inauguration. Barb Cardoso will be here in this regular hour. Jonathan Dunn will join us from across the pond. And again, thanks for listening. We do appreciate you being here. And I think it's about time we get this puppy on the road. So here we go.
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct. I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness. And to be honest with you, this country doesn't have time either.
Yes, political correctness is out. American exceptionalism is back, ready to re-empower our republic as one nation under God by restoring our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, with your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet, saying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your hosts of the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Running the board. Joe Hakos here, the Conservative Syndicate. Glad you could be here. You know you have a place to be, and this ought to be the place, but we understand you could probably find something better to do, but we're darn glad that you're here. John, again, is out doing his vacation thing, and so I am here again. I'm flying solo, but I won't be solo for long. At the bottom of the hour after our break, Robert Cardoso live. He will be here. And then on their second hour, Jonathan Dunn from over across the pond will be with us. And we'll be talking with Jonathan, see what he wants to talk about. I'm sure we'll probably hit upon Donald Trump's inauguration. And I'm pretty sure that's what Bob's going to want to talk about a bit. And so we'll talk that. We'll also talk about, I'd like to talk with Jonathan. We'll see, since he is over there in the same time zone as our British friends. I'd like to hear what he has to say about Prime Minister, easy for me to say, Prime Minister May's little speech, address, whatever you want to call it, that she made on Britain's plan for their Brexit, the leaving the European Union. So, and I got a little clip that I'll probably play. I'll see if I can't get it in the first part here, or maybe I'll get to it in the second half, right before we get Jonathan on, and see if you notice any similarities between what she has to say and what President Trump has had to say. If you recall the inauguration, a speech that he made, I think you'll find that there might be some similarities there, which, I think sounds, it's a change of pace. It's from what we've been accustomed to, unfortunately, for the last 8 years. It's something that's just totally, it's just, when you hear these things, you're like, wow, that's different. And so, which is it's a good thing, I think. We needed something different. The marches after President Trump's inauguration, Saturday, and if that's not a visual reminder of the bullet we in America dodged when Hillary Clinton was not elected, when the American people said no to her. Oh, my goodness, the mind-boggling to me. These are supposed to be... Well, these aren't... Well, let's just put it like this. Those aren't ladies. Not even close. And some of these... Air figures quote here, women are mothers. They have children. And this is how they obviously think it's a good way to raise their children. And I'm thinking different. I'm thinking no. I would like to put a little shout out to our friend of the show, Mr. Michael Smith. Today's his birthday. He's 779 years old, so pretty soon he'll be able to go ahead and get his AARP card. And so love the guy dearly. So, and he knows I'm messing with him, but no, sincerely happy birthday to him. He's a friend of our show, and so in fact we're trying to get Michael. Maybe he can come on next week. He's a busy man, that guy. And so we'll try to get him on next week. But happy birthday to him. I do like wish him happy birthday. Oh, and also. Over the weekend, Mr. James Mattis, General, retired. James Mattis was confirmed as Secretary of Defense, and he was sworn in by Vice President Pence, and he had a little statement, a little letter to, just a little message to our fellow brothers and sisters in the Department of Defense. So. Probably haven't heard it, so I'm going to just go ahead. It's very short, little 3 paragraphs, and I'm just going to read it to you real here. And so this is Secretary Mattis now to the military personnel after being sworn in as the 26th United States Secretary of Defense. It's good to be back, and I am grateful to serve alongside you as Secretary of Defense, together with the intelligence community. We are the sentinels and guardians of our nation. We need only look to you, the uniform and civilian members of the department and your families, to see the fundamental unity of our country. You represent America, committed to the common good, an America that is never complacent about defending its freedoms, and America that remains a steady beacon of hope for all mankind. Every action we take will be designed to ensure our military is ready to fight today and in the future. Recognizing that no nation is secure without friends, we will work with the State Department to strengthen our alliances. Further, we are devoted to gaining full value from every taxpayer dollar spent on defense, thereby earning the trust of Congress and the American people. I am confident you will do your part. I pledge to you I'll do my best as your secretary. Signed, Secretary of Defense James Mattis. All right, so let's hope that he holds true to that. There are some things that go on in the Department of Defense today that are just let's just say that they do not enhance military readiness. They do not enhance our warfighting capabilities. They enhanced social experimentation. And I think, personally, at the detriment to readiness and our war-fighting capabilities. So let's see what Secretary Mattis can do with that. That would be really, really something to see. I love to see that. Also, Friday. I don't know. I guess Friday is the start of the Trump administration, and although it started, halfway into the day, the work day here at noon Eastern time. So I'm just kind of curious, 180 days, folks say, hey, it's the 100-day plan, and that was something that kind of started out with JFK, John F. Kennedy, and his administration. But you need to have a good ball of momentum going there on your policies and procedures and your agenda that you want to get done. I think to be more fair, it's probably 180 days, 6 months out. So I guess it would be about day number 200 into the year. And so would be 180 days. But, hey, I just wanted to just go through and just refresh everybody's memory what President Trump's his 100-day plan was. All right. He wanted to lower taxes and do some tax reform, and he started a little bit of that somewhat today as he's talking about free and fair trade. He was definitely doing that today. As you know, he pulled us out of TPP. We're no longer bound to that. He wants to fix infrastructure, send education back to the states, repeal and replace Obamacare. I love the repeal part. I'm not real sure about the replace part. Affordable child care, yeah, that would be good, but I don't know what the government has to do with that. I don't know why the federal government needs to be involved in that, but I can see affordable child care. Send it to the states. I think that would be a great thing. End illegal immigration, yes, and enhance legal immigration. I'm putting that second one in there. But I think that would be a good thing. Keeping communities safe. I think we saw over the weekend what happens when communities aren't safe, and we'll talk more about that. Rebuild the military. And Mr. Trump, President Trump, put the kibosh on government federal hiring, except for the military. So there's a freeze on federal hiring, and drain the swamp. I don't know. That swamp is pretty deep, and there's probably going to be a lot of resistance to that, and not just with our Democrat friends in Congress. He's going to have some. He's going to have to get some Republicans to get on board as well. So, hey, we're a little bit long here. I think we're a little bit long, but we'll work this out. It is Monday, and we're taking care of it. Again, Joe Hayko is here on the Conservative Syndicate. We do have to pay some bills so we can keep this ball rolling and keep you educated and get you engaged and make sure everybody's up to speed on things you will hear here you might not hear anywhere else. So just keeping you on your toes. So we'll be right back after this break. Stick around. We'll be right back.
We're not arguing. We're explaining why we're right. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 $20 a month. Dish, call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
And now back to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Hey, Joe Hakos here, the Conservative Syndicate. Glad we're back. Yes, we are back. Having a great time. It's all fun. This is just let me turn this down a little bit. Get the clown music going. No, hey, cool. It's glad to have you guys here. You know, please visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, all one word there, except for the .net part, and check out our archives. Check out our panel members. You can check out our affiliates. Go there. There's some great shows out there that you guys can listen to at your leisure, which makes it even better. So, you know, and that's one thing that our friends in the extreme media, the stream media, and they're not mainstream at all, they haven't figured out that, you know, people can get their news at their leisure. They don't have to, you know, back in the old days, in my childhood, you know, there was only 3 networks, and except for the government fortified PBS. And, you know, 6 o'clock on the East Coast, and that was, you know, your CBS, NBC, ABC nightly news broadcast, you know, whether it was Cronkite, you know, David Brinkley, Chet Huntley, or Frank Reynolds. There's some names from the blast from the past for all you fun people out there. But, yeah, I mean, you know, but now you don't have to. You can get it whenever you want, and that's the best part about it. And again, a bullet we dodged by not electing Hillary Clinton because, you know, Obama, if you remember, took over the FCC and declared that the internet is a public utility. And hopefully we can put the kibosh on that. Hopefully we can get that rolled back. Maybe we're not sure. The FCC, what's his name, Wheeler, the head of the FCC, resigned. And so Mr. Trump, President Trump, is going to have to go ahead and appoint somebody there. And I'm sure he's going to pick someone. He's got some slots to fill, just like in the Supreme Court. So let's see what happens. Ajit Pai is still there, and he had been fighting the government takeover of the FCC. So maybe if Mr. Pai becomes the chairman, maybe we could see some movement in another direction there. Just, you know, speaking of things you're probably not hearing on the news today, unless you're in this local area, in the Tucson area, and this is kind of something that's near and dear to me since it's my Air Force brother not there. And I'm just going to read this. This is from the Daily Mail. UK, of course, you got to go to the UK to get any, to find the news around here or there, or probably Breitbart. But you're not going to see it on. You might see something, but I get headlines from wherever sent to my phone all day long, and I didn't hear anything about this particular thing. Arizona Air Force Base was placed under 3.5-hour lockdown after reports of gunshots. David Mathis Air Force Base in Tucson, DM as we affectionately call it, was placed on lockdown at 10 a.m. Lockdown of the Air Force Base was after unconfirmed reports of gunshots, and it was finally lifted after 3+ hours. DM is in Tucson, announced the lockdown on social media, which is, to me, is just crazy again. Authorities warned anyone on base, and this is the part that just pushes my buttons. Seek shelter immediately. The lockdown was lifted after 3.5 hours, just before 1:40 p.m. Little tweets here from DM, from Davis Moth and Air Force Base, DMAFB. The base is currently under lockdown. There are unconfirmed reports of gunshot sounds. Seek shelter immediately. More updates to come. And then later on it said, we are still in lockdown. Base personnel, if you haven't already, please seek shelter. Officials updates will be on this page and Facebook. These are tweets that were set out. And so the all clear had been lifted. It was like base personnel were free to resume normal operation and continue to Ashley Silcox, who appears to be a decorator officer with the Armed Forces, recorded her Facebook post on a Facebook group that she had heard gunshots, which sparked the lockdown. I heard gunshots from my office, but that's it, she wrote. When questioned where the shots were coming, she wrote, near the flight line, but it's been a moment or two since I've heard anything. She has since deleted that post in the community page. Soren Heiss at DM posted around the reported an active shooter. And so the plan for active shooters, if you don't know already, for our non-Air Force personnel, and if you are the Air Force, is run, hide, and fight. Run away if you can. Hide. Hopefully the bad guys will get you. And as a last resort, you fight. But then again, towards the end of last year, base commanders were given authority to allow individuals with concealed carry permits to carry on certain installations, but it was still up to installation commanders. So, I don't know. I'd rather have if you're going to fight, let's have it be somewhat fair. An individual with a firearm and you're fighting them with a paper cutter or a 3-ring binder, it just doesn't seem fair to me. But yep. All safe and sound at DM today, so glad to hear that. Another exercise and lots of fun with our active shooter, but hopefully it's just nothing more than that in the future, because we don't need any of that kind of thing going on. Just don't need it going on. It's not a fun time, and it's scary as crap for those that are there, and the family members for those that are outside the base, or even, in the base proper. When you hear this on the news, it does get rather tense and exciting, because you don't know what's going on, because their job is to find whatever's going on instead of report on it. So I give them credit for that. But, some more news that you never hear. Here's some more news that you might not have heard about this, and I'm going to go for WarNet Daily here. And this was published just last night, and it says a gotcha, and this is proof the State Department lie in Iran deception. American Center for Law and Justice, you know who those folks are, which alleged the Obama State Department manipulated video to conceal a spokeswoman's admission of lying to the public about the Iran deal, and we know that's what they did. Says it now has definitive evidence to back its claim. In the detailed section contained a question from the Fox News Channel's James Rosen, remember, who was put under investigation by the Obama administration. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, but, nothing to see here. Scandal-free, remember? Yeah. During the daily press briefing on December 2nd of December 2013, is it the policy of the State Department, where the preservation or the secrecy of secret negotiations is concerned, to lie in order to achieve that goal? That's the question that Rosen posed to the State Department spokesman Jen Psaki. James, I think there are times where diplomacy needs privacy in order to progress. This is a good example of that. It just so happens, though, that exchange was missing from the video released by the State Department. The Obama administration, initially claimed that the deletion was an unintentional glitch. But the American Center for Law and Justice media team analyzed the video and identified the white flash edit, it's quote unquote, determining that it could not possibly be simply a glitch. Now the American Center for Law and Justice, as part of FOIA lawsuit, Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, demanding key records shedding light onto this cover. It says it has evidence the deletion to cover up the Iran lie was intentional. American Center for Law and Justice said it obtained a sensitive but unclassified internal review matter by the U.S. State Department that contains a section of especially notated evidence of purposeful editing. Editing. Let me say that correctly. Editing. So once again, as we can see, the Obama administration and their fun friends in the press and the media are going, lie? Iran? Administration? Well, you can't tie any of that together. That's nothing to see here. And, the administration lied about the whole darn thing, to be quite honest with you, just to get, quote unquote, Congress to sit on their hands. And because it's not a treaty, and just as President Obama got us out of TPP today, again, done without a treaty, maybe he can get us out of this Iranian nuclear deal. So, it just makes me. It makes me just a bit uneasy, and it really is starting to really get old. Because what was the big deal today about the press? What did they want to know about? Oh, Spicer, you lied to us about the crowd size at the inauguration. You lied to us. You're a little alternate facts. Oh, alternate facts. Meanwhile, this administration lied to us for years about the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Your premiums are going to go down. You should probably save on average $2,500 a family. Yes. And now, lying about Benghazi, lying about this Iranian deal. These people, the press is so damn dishonest. So damn dishonest. It's like, look, we get it. We get it. You're not going to report truthfully on news, on anything of news. Especially something as important as, I don't know, the world's leading state sponsor of terrorists, having the ability to obtain materials so they can have a nuclear weapon and, maybe get it to their neighbors. It's probably a short, depending on the speed of your missile, a little 4-minute ride to our friends over in Israel, the only democracy we have in the Middle East and our most strident ally. And we're going to see that come to fruition here very shortly, because I do believe Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu is going to come and visit President Trump soon. And I hear tell that President Trump is going to hold true to one of his campaign promises and move our embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So we'll see what happens. That could be coming up very shortly, as a matter of fact. Things are going to happen quickly here in the Trump administration. He is trying to keep his campaign pledges. I'll give the guy some credit. When he screws up, I'll be all over him. But when I'll give him credit when he's not. And he said he's going to keep it. Hey, we're coming at the bottom of the hour. We do have to pay some bills. This is Joe Hakos here at the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back after we pay some bills. Stick with us, folks.
Red State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923 and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contest and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-380-2906. That's 800-380-2906. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-380-2906.
Am I not speaking English? Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American.
Hey, Joe Haco's here. We're at the Conservative Syndicate right here, coming to you live. That's what this is, live. It's live internet radio. And so, let me turn this down. I believe that noise we heard in the background, that was Robert Cardosa from Robert Cardosa Live. Coming on board. Robert, how are you today, sir?
Hey, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm full of apologies. I thought you were answering the phone. Didn't realize you were still on your commercial break, so please get my sincere apology.
Hey, it's all right, Bob. We it's the wonders of live. It's live.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot to be said for live. But you know what's alive? I'm alive. I mean, can you imagine the things that were happening in Washington, D.C. today, Joe? Wow. This guy is going to fulfill all of his campaign promises and just hit everybody else with a wet noodle.
I just let's hope he keeps on going. Of course, it's only he's been only there for his first full day, work day, quote unquote, of a work week. But as we know from other former presidents, every day's a work day for the president of the United States, except for that last guy that was in there. He decided to 3 days a week were work days, and the rest of the days were for golf.
Yeah, you know what? He treated the work day just like Joe does. Oh, no, that's not Joe. I meant to say John, not Joe. Yeah.
Well,
so here's the deal.
Hey, John's retired. Cut the guy some slack. He's retired, Bob.
So here's the deal. I mean, think about it. He's taken the funding away from the abortion rights clinics. He has frozen needless and duplicative federal hiring. He has stopped the TPP plan in its tracks. He's already got appointments with Britain and Mexico and Canada coming up. This guy has hit the ground running, and if you don't get excited over this, you have no blood running through your veins. Well,
yeah, or you're just completely you're a Democrat, and it doesn't matter what he could move the moon and change the tides, and it wouldn't matter to you because. I'm just looking at some things. He suspended mortgage premium cuts.
Yeah.
He froze new government regulations and hiring, except for the DOD. Right. He rolled back some of the burdens, quote unquote, burdens for Obamacare. He again, and the one that I love so far, I love this one the best is he got us out of the TPP.
Yeah.
And he reinstated that Mexico City policy. So our folks that love babies and life, they should be happy about that one.
You know what? And actually, I said it last Friday that I think this guy's first 100 days is going to be historical. But I was thinking about it over the weekend, Joe, and I'm thinking, you know what? He ought to be able to do an awful lot in the first 100 days if he does nothing more than rescind all of those executive orders.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that should take down pretty much, a rough guess. Let's see if we were going to quantify that. Good, probably 85% of the Obama administration.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's just, and then Obama telling him as he's leaving office, if you want to last in effect, you need to get things done legislatively. No kidding, Sherlock.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but, and Obama's saying that to Trump, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, guess what? Water's wet, too.
You know what? I don't have the statistics in front of me, Joe, and you might know, but I would be willing to guess that there is probably no president in history who has issued more executive orders than Obama had.
Oh, gee, I don't have that either because they were, I remember it was Bob. The thing was the definition of an executive order at one time too. So it went. I do know that he gave out the most pardons than any other president in history.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we had our lovely individual, our FARC. Or FA, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, easy for me to say. The individual.
Yeah, it's not as easy for you to say as it would be to spell because it sounded awfully funny on this side of the mic.
Oh, it was just awesome the way it was going. Let me see if I can find it. I got it right here. Oh, here we go. That was Oscar Lopez Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who was the FALN. He wanted to have Puerto Rican independence. You remember that? That was back in the 70s. Yeah, So hey, Obama he just proves that he just loves terrorists. Doesn't care where they're from. He loves them.
Well, you know what? You could certainly make a case for that, and I want to change the subject just a little bit.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
And I don't know if you had a chance to see Sean Spicer do his first press release press conference
I got
today.
some bits and pieces of that. Yeah. Man,
I want to tell you, this guy really. First of all, I don't know of any other press secretary that ever spent almost 2 hours with the press and answered every single question, and nobody walked on top of him. And he answered the big issue that Marianne Conway caused because of her misnaming something. He came back and defended it and found it to be true that more people did witness the inauguration of Donald Trump, both personally and on the internet, than any other president in history. And it turned out that fact was absolutely accurate and true. That the press, as usual, wanted to manipulate what was being said, And you know what? I was just so pleased to see Sean go after the press and give them a lesson in honesty.
Yeah, that's the best part that I took out of it. It was look, we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to sit back and let you guys run over us and define who we are. And it was funny. I was watching just a little bit of that show that's on at Fox News at 5 with the $100,000 6-figure Juan Williams, who's just a complete asshat. And I apologize to all other asshats out there for including Juan Williams in that. But Dana Perino's out there, former press secretary for George W. Bush, saying this and this and this. And if I do recall, the media defined over and over George W. Bush, who he was and how his policies were, and to have her criticize anybody as a press secretary is just unfathomable to me. She is not what I would call the expert. Yeah, you stood up there and you did it, but it doesn't make you the queen of all on press secretaries.
Well, that's for sure. You know, one of the things that I really enjoyed was when Spicer actually came out and said, "Hey, look, any of you reporters out there ever make a mistake that you had to say you were sorry for, and you had to say you were wrong?"
Yes, I remember that.
You can print a retraction, and you can do all these things, and it doesn't hit the news. It doesn't do anything. But God forbid we should use a wrong word someplace, or you misunderstand us, and you just castigate us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I saw that, and they were talking about, oh, you guys did this, and the reports came out yesterday. I just saw it today, just on our break there. I went in and I saw it on the monitor. Fox News is just reporting on the same thing I just got done talking about here on the show about the State Department lying about the deletion of video on the Iran deal.
Yeah. You know, the other thing, right, I don't know if you got to see it, Joe. During this press conference, one of the reporters questioned the fact that when Donald Trump went to the CIA, he brought 10 of his own, or a number of his own people, and sat them right up in the front chairs. And so what Sean did was he had him check it while he was standing right there. And it turns out that, one, they did bring 10 staff members. But those 10 staff members stood on the side of the building, and everyone that was in seat, everybody that was cheering, everybody that was there were actually members of the CIA and had nothing to do with Trump.
Yeah. Fake news, Bob? You think it's fake news? Can we classify it as
Oh,
fake news?
you know what? I was trying to think. I was trying to think of another word for it, but you know what? Fake news is the right word for it, and they also invented it, didn't they?
Well, I mean, normally in another day and age, we'd have called it propaganda.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hey, listen, Joe, we've got to go on a short break. I'm going to disconnect from you, and I'll call you right back. How's that sound?
How about 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Sounds good, Bob. We'll get you 2. All right, folks. We're going to take a 2-minute break here. We'll come on back. This is Joe Hagos. We're going to get with Robert Cardoso. Robert Cardoso live here at the Conservative Syndicate.
There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. The ConservativeSyndicate.net, the adult in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org.
Hey, welcome back, folks. This is Joe Hagos here with Robert Cardoso from Robert Cardoso Live. Yeah, live radio it's the greatest, man.
How exciting could it be to have you and I together from both the left and right side of the country?
It's just, Bob, you know what? I was watching over the weekend, watching Apollo 13. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just
was that with Tom Hanks?
Yeah, it was Tom Hanks. But what I was more interested in is the technology involved, and and I just remember that from back in the day in the 70s, and it was like, wow, man, it's like, how awesome that was, and we're doing a lot of this stuff today. And you know what, Bob? Remember last Friday when an individual stood on a dais there and said stuff like, "Hey, maybe we can eradicate the world of disease." Oh, let me see if I can find that. Oh, yeah. Where's it at? Oh.
The interesting thing is, and I don't know how old you are, Joe, but I'm old, and I remember living through all that stuff when Apollo 13 had its problems, and I remember when we landed Neil Armstrong on the moon and brought him back, and I remember a lot of the medical advances. I mean, the heart transplants and all those things.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I have a medical segment that's on my show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that this physician says is that, every time we eradicate something, we generally open the door to 2 or 3 other things that wind up being worse.
Well, yeah, I'd take that chance. But you know what, Bob? If we could find a cure for cancer, I think I'll go for that.
Oh, yeah, I am too. But you know what? The interesting, I don't want to get into that kind of subject because that's not what we talk about. The interesting thing is that a lot of the things that are going on today would take care of themselves. But I did hear one person say something, well, you know, we never had cancer before we started doing all of these heroic measures with regard to surgeries and all the different things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah.
200 years ago, they had what they called consumption.
Yeah.
That was cancer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they didn't have X-rays or whatever. They couldn't see into it, but the symptoms they had, they could tell, yeah, this is what you have, and no, you have about maybe 6 weeks to live.
Yeah. Well, talking about consumption, Trump is going to go after NAFTA. I couldn't be more pleased in, you know, when he canceled the TPP program today, and then he says, and at the end of the week he's going after NAFTA. You couldn't be more pleased because we always get the tail end of every one of these agreements. Why is it that the United States never comes out on the winning side of any of these negotiations?
Well, I think he explained that throughout his campaign. He said they're idiots who make these deals.
Yeah.
So,
you know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, people want the protection of the United States, but that's another issue. You know, when he was talking about NATO,
yeah,
and everybody was saying, "Oh, you can't get rid of NATO. NATO's so important to the world." Yeah, it's important to the world. What the agreement in NATO is, all the member nations, is each one of them needs to donate 2% of their GDP to NATO, so that pays for all the armed services and all the protection and all the costs and all the things going on.
Yep.
But so far, Russia pays about half of what they're supposed to pay, and the United States pays more in order to subsidize what's going on, and we're the guys doing the protecting.
Yeah, I mean, we have to protect them against Russia, and, you know, it's like Germany might be fitting their bill, but the Italians, the Poles, the Poles are in there now, you know, the Brits, the Danes, Sweden, I mean, Finland is giving $589 a month to people to stay unemployed. I mean... just...
Yeah. You know, it's just crazy stuff that's going on, and so I just don't understand how anybody can criticize Donald Trump for saying, "Hey, we want to help you, we want to protect you, we want to be the strongest, most powerful nation on earth." But you know what? We shouldn't have to pay for this out of our pocket. You've got plenty of money. If you want us to protect you, pay the cost.
Well, yeah, I get that too, and it's like, look, just stand up to your end of the bargain here. But you know, I don't know if you remember. Remember, we said, hey, we told the Ukraine, you give up your nukes, and if Russia does anything, we're going to be there for you. And under the Obama administration, what did Russia do? What did Russia do? Blah blah blah. And what did the Obama administration do? Absolutely jack squat to them.
Yeah.
So
you know,
I can understand
no matter what
if they're uneasy.
Is in trouble, Joe, no matter where they go, these guys put on these UN soldiers go out there, the UN helmets and the UN uniforms and the UN weapons and things. Well, those are our soldiers in those uniforms that we pay for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've been there, done that, Bob. So yeah, I'm a little touchy on that one. I just don't believe we should ever be under control of anybody else other than a U.S. commander, period. End of story.
Oh, no, I agree with you. Know, don't misunderstand me, Joe. I agree that we're the ones that need to be in control. Because you know what? There isn't anybody that's more powerful than us. Nobody that's better trained than us. Nobody that can actually mobilize faster than us. All I'm saying is that people are so critical, and yet it's really us we're footing the bill, and not only are we footing the bill monetarily, it's our soldiers and our citizens that are giving up their own blood and their own flesh, and they're being maimed and they're being killed and sacrificed. You know, I don't understand how they can criticize us.
Well, they can because, well, they just do because they can. The thing is, Bob, what you're talking about is leadership, and I believe there's for lack of a better phrase, there's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Donald Trump.
You caught me for a second. I didn't follow you, but now I've got you now.
Yeah, I mean, because although, you know, he spoke just so beautifully when he was reading. To hold a conversation like we are right now, I don't believe the man could do that unless he was talking about how to destroy our nation. But Barack Obama was not the greatest orator in the world, but he also didn't have a lick of clue of how to be a leader.
Yeah, you know what? In just a weekend, and I wanted to say just today, but it's really a weekend. You're really seeing a leader. Now, I don't care if you don't like Donald Trump. I don't care if you didn't vote for Donald Trump. And here's the thing: you can't look at what's taking place right now and not recognize real leadership. This guy's got his hands right on everything. I was going to say on the button. That was the wrong term to use. But he's got his thumb on the problems.
Yeah,
this guy has really got it going.
Well, I mean, he understood what was going on, so he had a bit of a plan going in, and he's trying to execute that plan. And the plan is get in line too, because if you don't like it, there are going to be consequences. And hey, I don't know if you heard, but Tillerson passed the first hurdle to be confirmed as Secretary of State.
Oh no, I knew that I kept waiting and waiting. I knew that the vote was going to go on, so they're going to take it to the full Senate. Will the full Senate get it today, Joe?
I don't know if they'll get it today because that just happened. Oh, half hour ago.
Oh,
and we're talking about Congress.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. Excuse me, Joe. Anyway, but it's interesting. And we talked about it on Friday. I honestly believe that every one of Trump's cabinet is going to be approved. The interesting thing is that on the very first day of Obama's administration, they approved 9 members of his cabinet. Here we are 3 days down the road, and we've only got, if we count Tillerson, who just got approved today, we've got 3, right?
Rod. So, yeah, it's Schumer, and it's also the Republicans not standing up and deploying their will against this. They could make this happen. They're like Chuck Schumer saying, no. Chuck Schumer is, by definition, the minority leader. So that means you got the stick. You run with it. Hey, Bob.
He's minority leader in more ways than one.
Hey, Bob. We're coming to the end of our time, brother. Why don't we tell everybody how to get a hold of you and all that fun stuff, man?
Absolutely. First of all, you can listen to me and Joe every Monday and Friday, and usually when John's around, not being a world traveler, he's there too. But you can listen to my show every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time, and you get my app, please. That way you don't have to give up Joe's show to listen to me. You can listen to me 24/7 anytime you want. Of course, you can listen to me live and listen to Joe and John on their website as well. Hey, guys. Hey, Joe. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you on Friday.
No problem, Robert. We'll talk to you on Friday. Enjoy the week, brother. You stay safe, man.
Thank you. You too. Stay safe, stay dry, and keep smiling.
All right, brother. You too.
Let freedom ring.
All right, folks, that was Robert Cardoso from Robert Cardoso Live, and doing his regular thing here. And we always enjoy talking to Bob. It's always fun to have him on here, and it's just really good to do the technology thing, the technology dance that we try to do. It's exciting. It just makes you wonder. I'm just amazed, I wish we had flying cars. I just remember that was the one thing that I was kind of like, hey, where the hell's my flying car already? Because I was promised to that years ago. But that being said, we are coming up to the top of the hour. We got to do the Edwards Notebook and pay some bills and start the second hour here on the Conservative Syndicate. Joe Haco's here, so stick with us. We'll be right back, and we'll get the second hour rolling. So glad to have you. Let's make the Edwards Notebook happen now then.
If a group of black Chicago thugs beat up and torture a white guy who supports Donald Trump, who in their right mind gives a rip if the thugs hated their victim or not? Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, the last time I checked, you, myself, and every other American have unalienable rights, which include the right to choose who to support for President of the United States. Our unalienable rights come from God and cannot be obstructed by an abusive government or knuckle-dragging thugs. You have the right to live for your own sake, not according to the will of criminals in or outside of government. It was unbelievable to learn that Chicago law enforcement officials struggled to charge the thugs because they couldn't discern if it was a hate crime.
Hate crime! Hate crime! Hate crime!
Well, who cares? How about assault and battery for starters? The thugs even had a female cheerleader who recorded those imitators of vicious chimpanzees. I don't care if those black thugs hated their white victim or not. Throw the bums in jail for a long, long time and let them sort out how they feel for decades behind bars. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
Since its founding, America has always been admired and envied throughout the world for its system of government, one that empowers its citizens to seek their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. No other country or nation in history has benefited from its diversity simply due to the opportunities available to anyone from anywhere. But there have been and are those who envy our freedom for a very different reason. And today we find ourselves as never before being threatened by this formidable foe intent on our destruction. For this reason, Act for America exists. Act for America is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan, grassroots national security organization with over 300,000 members and 1,000 chapters focused on educating, engaging, and mobilizing citizens and elected officials to impact legislative outcomes to protect America against terrorism both here and abroad. As a result, our network has driven the education process toward the successful passage of 43 bills in 22 states. We continue to expand our nationwide volunteer chapter network, training citizens to recognize and help prevent criminal activity and terrorism in the United States while preserving the civil liberties protected by the United States Constitution. To find out more, check us out at actforamerica.org. That's actforamerica.org.
All right, folks. Joe Hakos here. Top of the hour. Second hour starting here on the Conservative Syndicate. Please check us out at theconservativesyndicate.net. And really appreciate Robert Cardoso coming on with us here. We've got Jonathan Dunn live. He's waiting in the wings for us to get this thing going. So let's start the second hour.
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct. I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness. And to be honest with you, this country doesn't have time either.
Yes, political correctness is out. American exceptionalism is back, ready to re-empower our republic as one nation under God by restoring our unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, with your host, John Matthews.
It's a latter-day prophet, weighing against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your hosts of the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right. Hour number 2. Glad you guys are sticking around with us. If you're just showing up, where you been? All right. We had some great fun with Robert Cardoso. And, we'll be looking forward to Robert will be here. Bob will be here on Friday once again, and we'll do it all over again. Having fun with Bob. And get Jonathan Dunn waiting in the wings, and we'll get with him in just a few minutes. I just wanted to just put it out there again. Hey, remember, check us out, our website, again, theconservativesyndicate.net. And we were just talking, as we were talking with Bob, the Trump administration, and he is obviously hitting the ground running. The TPP thing, awesomeness, right? That just straight up. I mean, that right there. It was so bad for us because. Oh, look at that! That sounds like Jonathan Dunn to me. All right, let's see what happens here. Mr. Dunn, is that you, sir?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan Dunn here on the Conservative Syndicate. Jonathan, I was just talking about the TPP and Trump that's taking the U.S. out of that horrendous agreement. Hey, just wanted to talk to you. Hey, so how's it going for you, man?
Yeah, it's going good. Living the dream over here in the utopia of Ireland. How you doing, brother?
I am. I'm living my dream in paradise here. I'm sure I've got a couple degrees of warmth over you right now, and so
that's usually a safe bet.
Yes, it usually is. Even in the dead of summer, it is.
Yeah, but we do get that one day where like the Met Office and all the weather people going, you have all these headlines going, today Dublin, Ireland, 25 degrees, Barbados 22, and it's like, they try and build this anticipation where it's like, don't you wish you were in Dublin today and not Barbados? No, as a general rule, I want to be in Barbados for weather.
Well,
so you get all those headlines. So,
well, I don't know. You probably have a little better beer there.
Well, that's easy. When you don't get good weather, it's easy. You got to do something, right?
It's easy to say that. It's hard to do.
Yeah, well, you got to have water and stuff like that. The water is key. So and the temperature. So and also Irish people are really good. Instead of having beer that's like light and easy to drink, we'll have Guinness, which is creamy and heavy. So it's like drinking and eating at the same time.
It was just liquid bread.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I kind of like that, actually.
Well, Guinness makes us famous, so among other things. So it's good. I encourage it. If you ever get to have a Guinness, make sure you have it in Ireland because it does not travel. No matter where you have Guinness, no matter how good it is 100% better in Ireland and in a good pub that's poured pretty frequently. So it's really good.
Well, I'll just have to make that one day. It'd be awesome to get over there and have some really fresh Guinea.
Absolutely. Fresh and in a good pub where the lines are cleaned each and every week, that it's constantly flowing. It's absolutely key.
Wow. Okay. I guess I'll have to ask you if I ever make it over there. Hey, where's the place to be, man?
I'll give you a few. Don't worry. I won't leave you hanging. And I won't just give you one. I'll give you like 5 or 6 where you can, have a little bit of a tasting, see which is better.
Well, yeah, if in case I get thrown out of one place, I have some other places to go.
Exactly. That's always a good tip. Always have a good backup plan, yeah?
Yeah. Hey, so have you been watching the goings-on over here in the good old USA?
Of course I have. It's been incredibly frustrating in some ways. It's been incredibly encouraging in others. I get very frustrated when I see your politics having silly arguments.
Yes.
I always thought mine is bigger than yours was like an argument you had at like 5 years old. Not whether we're talking about crowds of inaugurations and protests.
Yeah.
I thought we had graduated by mine is bigger than yours, but there has been some stuff. It's going to be very interesting 4 years. It's going to be very interesting, even the next 2 to see what you do. Because it's no secret I've never been a Trump supporter. But you have a House, you have a Senate, and you have a Republican president. You have an opportunity now to get things done.
Yeah.
What are you going to get done?
Yeah, I would like to see them roll back this Democrat Party agenda and roll it back, I don't know, let's say, 80 years.
80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years. 80 years.
Still with me there, Jonathan? Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Hey, hello.
Yep, you there?
We got you back.
Oh, my technology. Okay. Hey, I was just saying it'd be nice to roll back the Democrats' agenda 80 years or so.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think it's just a Democrat agenda anymore. I think it's very much a Democrat and Republican agenda.
Yeah.
You know, that there is some bad things that I'm very, very worried about. I'm still very worried about some people on the right insisting tariffs are a good thing. I am extremely, extremely, extremely annoyed how you now have a Republican president, House and Senate, and the best budget you can do adds $9.7 trillion to the economy.
Yeah, that's I get you too. I get you on that. Instead of this bargaining point, why don't you start at like an absolutely rock bottom number and then work your way up instead of hitting a number in the middle. And then you're going to go higher than that. It's kind of silliness there.
Absolutely, and like I've been around a long time. My first following your elections was the Bush Gore. They were fun times, weren't they? But I remember the conservative position. Do you miss those days? I missed the Bush versus Gore days.
Well, I mean, I'm in Florida, so we were ground zero on that one.
Oh, lucky you. But going back those days, the quote-unquote conservative position was... I remember used to having to deal with the headlines and, you evil, evil conservative, you want to cut government? Now it's like the conservative position is, we only want to grow government by 0.5% instead of 2.5%. That's the thing. No one wants to cut it. It's, a case of, growing it slower. And I'm finding it very hard. I say, a country that is nearly $19.9 trillion in the hole, and the Republican House, Senate, and President are trying to get me excited about another $9.7 trillion.
Yeah.
At some point, the cows are going to come home to roost. You cannot have an economy. I don't care what size it is. You can have a $40 trillion economy, which you don't. You're at half of that. And you cannot have a $30 trillion deficit. At some point, people are going to wake up and go, you know what? There's not enough money in this world, not just in America, in this world to pay off this debt.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I'm talking 30 trillion, potentially, I'm talking about the real debt. When you talk about the unfunded liabilities, it's approaching 150 trillion.
Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying there.
At some point, you have to stay no.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like... I hope that President Trump does say no.
I hope so. But, on the flip side, it's one of those things. There's a lot of negatives that I'm very worried about. There are some positives. It's actually nice to see. While I don't exactly like how he did it with executive orders, which is another thing we need to talk about, but the freezing of the government hiring. So if someone leaves or someone retires, there's no replacement. With the exception of the military, that was one of his executive orders today. That is a positive step. I would have preferred it was done through Congress and through the proper means, but it is a positive step, and I think it would work well.
They would have to do that through the budgetary process to make it Congress, but I believe as an immediate effect, he can do it this way. But for a longer lasting effect, he will have to go through the budgetary process.
Yeah. Exactly, but that's the thing. You don't have a budgetary process. You don't have, there's this old term which a lot of people, if you're not familiar with if you watch politics for the last 5 years, you'll have never heard this term. It's a term called reconciliation.
Yeah,
where the House does its budget, the Senate does its budget, and then they come together and they reconcile the two budgets to put together a budget to be signed by the president. You have that process anymore, which is whatever you spent last year, we'll spend this year, and we might increase it, to do with inflation. So you have to get back to the fundamental rules of your constitution, and I hope you do it. I'm a bit skeptical at the minute with certain things, but I hope, and from my point of view, I'll always be on the sidelines cheering. This is why you're a great country. It's not because of who's president. It's not because of what political party has power. It's because of your people. Yeah. You are a fundamentally great nation. Your constitution needs to be, honestly, I think needs to be taught to a lot of people. because a lot of people are lacking in it, but we need to get that education going again.
Well, a lot of people sitting in Washington, D.C. need to read it.
Absolutely. I would say everywhere, a lot of people. I put up a question on my Facebook page today, and I just wanted to know, because I'm not left or right. I don't belong to ideology to either. I'm very much in your founding fathers' agreement, constitution, freedom, limited government, states' rights. But I put up a question because I've got friends on both sides of the aisle, and I was like, just so we're clear for the next 4 years now with the new administration, what's everyone's position on executive orders? And a lot of my Republican and conservative friends said, whatever Trump has to do to get the job done, he has to do. And I was like, okay. And then I went scrolling down my page, and I think about 15, 20 comments were posted before anyone mentioned the word Constitution. I was like, this is something I need to work on, having little chats with people, because, the first thing I would say is, well, what does the Constitution say? Yeah. I'm kind of old-fashioned that way.
Well, me
and
too.
Outdated.
Me too. I'd rather see something done through the Constitution, through the legislative process, so it's a little bit more lasting in flavor, as opposed to executive order where someone at the stroke of a pen and the next guy comes behind and does the same thing. That's the reason everybody was up in arms about Obama doing it all the time. Well, it doesn't make it any better if Trump's going to do it all the time either. I get that. It's just we have to have a Congress that gets off their duff and actually takes responsibility for what they're supposed to do as a co-equal branch of government.
Exactly. It takes leadership from all points of view, and it's you have to look at the leadership.
I'm with you.
I know John Boehner's not there anymore, but Paul Ryan isn't doing a whole lot more.
He's
Mitch McConnell. Let us not forget, 2 years ago, this is the guy when he got the Senate after begging for 8 years, said, "Well, we just got to prove to the American people we know how to govern." No, you got to prove that you follow the Constitution, that you're going to fight for freedom, for taking government out of the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you need to do. And if people don't get it, then we need to to find a bigger, deeper change.
Yeah, we need to get those folks. But as you can see right now, there's a battle going on there as far as that sentiment. We have a real problem going on here right now. Otherwise, we'd have more of the Trump cabinet would have been confirmed already. So that's part of the problem right now. Hey, Jonathan, we got to take a short commercial break, and so hopefully you'll be sticking around. Just something we have to do to pay some bills, brother.
No problem. I'll be right here, brother.
Okay, man. So this is Joe Hakos with Jonathan Dunn here on the Conservative Syndicate. We got to pay some bills, folks, and then we'll come right back just as soon as we can. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first, and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American.
Yeah. Joe Hakos here with Jonathan Dunn. I guess we can speak only one language, American, and we can even have it with an Irish accent. Yeah. So, all right, we got Jonathan Dunn here, all the way from Ireland. So, Jonathan, how's it going? You're still with us, right?
Yes, sir, I am. Thank you
technology, man, makes me wonder sometimes. Hey, I agree with you completely. We have to get back to limited government. And that's what the Republicans used to stand for until, I don't know, it's like they got beat down by Obama and the left. And it's like, okay, we give up. We're tired of everybody hating us for wanting to not spend money, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, like you said, let's just spend less money. And it's like, no. Once you spend a lot less money and get back to what you're supposed to, I mean, government, that's why the Trump, repeal and replace thing. Repeal, I like. The replace of Obamacare is the part that scares me.
Oh, absolutely. I can say, as someone who lives under socialized medicine, it is not a system you want to live under. It's incredibly frustrating. You get the political games accept with people's lives, and it's not good. I live under socialized medicine. There's been a lot of reports, and I've been speaking about them on my show, from the Irish media, where, bear in mind, Ireland has 4.5 million people. Recently, where a report came out and said, 100 people per year die. 300 people die, and nearly one per day die just purely because there's not enough beds in intensive care. And another 300 people die, which is nearly one a day, due just to general trolley shortages. Just those two issues alone.
Wow.
There was another major report which came out from a local hospital down in Wexford, which I think it was something like 20 or 30 cases over a period of time of cancer went undiagnosed. Socialized medicine is not the way to go. Can you imagine those headlines if it was a private entity? If that was a private hospital run by private money, they'd be shut down.
Yeah.
The health inspector would be in going, sorry, no more business for you. Government, no, it just runs fine.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, exactly. The government, that's acceptable losses to the government. Yeah, sure. Unless you're on the wrong end of that.
Yeah, exactly. And the horrific thing is Ireland is going through a stage where I feel sorry. I live with my mother. We're not rich by any extremes or any measures. Quite the opposite. But one of the things we have done, because there's major health concerns in our family with cancer, is we've always had private insurance. Mm-hmm. There have been times each month where we have struggled to eat, at the end of the month when you're waiting to get paid, to make sure your health insurance is paid. Because if you let your health insurance drop and then you have to cover it up, guess what? You start from scratch and there's no pre-existing conditions, and that can limit it.
Yeah.
The Irish government has a war on the private insurance companies at the minute, and it said one of its publicly stated goals is to have universal health care in the next 5 years, which means that they're going to put the insurance companies out of business.
Yeah,
that is a stated goal.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like Obamacare.
It is. It's horrific. And I have a lot of military friends, and I always say to my friends who go, well, Obamacare is not that bad. I always say, okay, I tell you what, go find a military person, and I could tell you many horrific stories of the VA.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you have, just on about 100 times bigger. If you can't run the VA properly, what makes you think you can look after 330 million people?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. In fact, I've lived with military medicine for 30 years now.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's Airfingers quotes managed care.
Yeah, well, it's. I just feel the best thing you need to do is to get government out of. I love the left's arguments because you had all them protesters at the weekend. Government out of my. We're on live radio, so we can't say certain words, folks. But you can fill in those words. But we're okay with it in our healthcare. We want privacy in the bedroom, but when it comes to our healthcare, when I don't know where we might live or die, no, we want government there.
Yeah.
And I think it's so sad. And the other thing is, I always never understood it because all the socialists around the world have been saying, you know what, this is a great thing. It's a positive step for America. I wish they'd be a bit selfish for once, because I wish they'd be the one going, okay, America, we love you, but stay private. Because we have local papers, the local papers, you have them over there as well, where it's just your little region, like your little town. It's not a state paper, it's a little paper.
Yeah.
And it's got a readership of 20, 30, 40, 50,000. You will see stories all the time in that at different periods of the year going, hey, can you help this little girl? They set up a GoFundMe page. She's got this rare form of cancer. And, Ireland can't cover it, England can't cover it. We got to send her over to America for 6 months to get her cured, or to get a little boy cured. So, the world should be coming to America going, don't do socialized medicine, because here's the thing, we need your privatized system. So the cures we can't give, we'll send them over to you. Please stay the way you are. But they don't. They embrace it because, it's more power for them, and it's more government for them. And just so you all know what's going to happen, when they get more power, you're going to get the same excuses. Didn't go far enough, wasn't funded well enough, wrong people in charge, someone needs to be fired.
Bingo. Yes, I was going to say that. It's the way they think about it here. You just didn't have enough money, or you had the wrong people. Those folks just didn't have the right people. We are the right people. We can make that happen, and it's just proven over and over again. No matter what the program is, they can't make it work. Government destroys everything it gets its hands on. We can't even get to run a railroad over here the right way. And the post office is not running the right way, at deficits left and right, and we got to subsidize them. And it's like, you really want these folks running your health? I mean, for crying out loud, let's look at the website that they tried to spend millions of dollars to get a website going.
Oh, that was incredible. That was one of the biggest wastes of money. But the other thing is, what we've just said is that's actually the best case scenario. I've got many military friends, and I love them, and I feel for them, and I always try and help out where I can. But if you remember back when the VA scandal came out, which is still ongoing, by the way. I know you don't hear about it, and no one really talks about it. It's still ongoing. No one got fired for it. No one got fired for the VA scandal, and it was like, we have all these hearings, and the media got, we have to have a bit of rage for a couple of minutes, and then the next story came along. It was like, were we talking about the VA? No, we weren't talking about the VA. No, let's move on to another subject.
Yeah, Shinseki left,
that's the best
but he
case
never
scenario
got fired.
When someone gets fired.
Yeah, Shinseki left, but he didn't get fired. He kind of left on his own because, he just couldn't stand the embarrassment, I think.
Mm-hmm. I would hope so.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, okay, but yeah, the VA, and it's not. But the problem is, it's such a big bureaucratic nightmare. You've got some spots that are really good, but then you have these other places that are not good at all. And so it's kind of like, hopefully Trump puts somebody in place that can kind of rein that bureaucratic nightmare in, because it is a shame what we're doing to our vets. As a vet, I can wholeheartily say, it's just, you got to be kidding me. And there are organizations. You were talking about just non-government organizations. We got St. Jude's Hospital, for example, over here in Tennessee. I mean, you can send money to that, and these people will take care of children, right? And it's not government funded, and they do very good work. So it can be done without the government's involvement.
Absolutely, it can be done. It's not like rocket science. It's not hard. You just get the government out of the way. You got to reduce the paperwork, reduce the regulations. And here's the thing: trust people to make the right decisions, and to know that each and every one of us knows what's best for us.
Yeah.
not what someone else. I know that's a radical thought today. You know, that's you, John. You know what's best for you, and yeah, I do. And I'm prepared to pay the consequences if I make a wrong decision. And it's, you know, the biggest thing you can do, your healthcare system can be fixed relatively quickly if there's a political will to do it. I don't see the political will too much because it's frightening to me, you know, the evolution of Obamacare over the last 8 years since 2010. 7 years, sorry, since it got passed, where it was, we need to repeal, we need to repeal, we need to repeal, we need to repeal, and then all of a sudden it became, yeah, I need to say some more words now, so I'm going to repeal and replace it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you had the folding of the GOP, you know, well, you know, the medical device tax is the big issue. That was one of Mitch McConnell's famous lines, because he's such a great leader. But there's, did you get the sarcasm in that Irish accent, did you?
Yes, I got that.
That's good, because there was plenty of it, trust me. But, you know, I'm hearing even today, it's like repeal and replace, repeal and replace.
Yes,
no,
thank you.
what you need to repeal it is get the government out of the way, break up competition lines so that you can have interstate trading.
Right.
That you can build up these, you know, companies that actually have the funding to say, okay, we're now going to target a new area, and then you bring in competition. Competition is a proven way of bringing prices down.
Absolutely.
It always works in any industry.
It brings about better service and competition, better service, better prices. Yeah. Hey, Jonathan, we got to pay some bills. It's the bottom of the hour, so we got to absolutely do this one. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes after, actually. So let's go ahead and do this. Joe Hakos here with Jonathan Dunn, all the way from Dublin, Ireland. That's in Ireland. Here on the Conservative Syndicate. We'll be right back after we pay some bills.
Red State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-380-2906. That's 800-380-2906. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-380-2906.
I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American.
What a little Irish flavor to go along with it. So, yeah, hey, thanks for sticking around with us, folks. Joe Hakos here with Jonathan Dunn here on the Conservative Syndicate. Remember to go to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. Check everything out there. You can see all our contributors and websites and find out where we're at and enjoy it and share it with your friends and your enemies and, your wannabe friends and the people that don't quite, maybe they're waking up from their slumber going, oh, what's going on around here? And, share it with them. Tell them, hey, this is what's going on. So, Jonathan, I know it's late there, brother, so I'm glad you're with us, man.
Hey, pleasure to be here.
Honor's ours here. So, hey, let's see. Just what we were talking about Obamacare, but anything else going on exciting over your way you wanted to hit upon here?
Well, since we're talking about government bureaucrats, politicians screwing things up, you want to talk about Brexit for a minute?
Sure. Nothing's going on there, right?
Hey, oh Lord. It is. Do you know what? It just shows you what politicians can do. If they actually use their powers for good, they actually might be pretty decent people. So it's just been a nightmare, and my worst fears have come to realization with Brexit. Remember when I spoke to you when it just passed earlier on in the summer, and a lot of people were really excited about it. But the thing is, it's actually changed nothing. It's still a socialist country. There is no movements for freedom. It's all, who gets to tell you what to do? Is it a European or an English person? So just to give you an update on what's going on, tomorrow's actually a big day because people voted. People said, we want out. But of course, politicians said, it doesn't work that way because we need to have a say. You elected us. We're more important than you peasants. I know you voted and said you wanted to leave, and it wasn't even close. But we got to have a say.
Yeah. So
they went to the
what's the court going to do something now? Is your courts going to do something now?
Well, I'll get to our courts in a second because that's where it gets even better.
Oh, it gets better.
So it's in England. It's in England right now. It's in the Supreme Court, and tomorrow morning at 9:30 British time, which is about 4:30 Eastern time.
Yeah,
and they're going to make their ruling. It's 11 senior judges. It's going to be close. But basically, there's rumors it's going to go one way or the other. But it's kind of because each paper has a vested interest. The media over here is like the media over there. You've got both sides. No one actually reports the truth. Really, it's a case of we've got the right media and the left media, and we all give our own spins of what we think is going to happen. So you're getting reports saying they're going to say the people had their say, and it's the people voted, and that's what happens, and that's all. But more the voices are saying what's going to actually happen is the court is going to rule with the MPs and saying that actually to trigger Article 50 of their constitution, which is to leave the European Union, it's going to have to go to a parliamentary vote, and the politicians have to vote on it.
So what was the election for? What was the referendum for with the people voting?
I know it's nothing, because apparently people have no say in their country. It's all about politicians and doing it. But it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. Because wait, you hear this. I only just tipped the iceberg, brother. If you have heart medication or you have blood pressure, I strongly suggest you take some.
So I should hold on right now. I should just hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it gets better. Because we do politics the way y'all do politics brilliantly. So it's going to it. So they're, both sides are hemming and hawing. We think we're going to win. We think we're going to lose. So the politicians in government are saying, I think we're going to get a say in this. So we better say, because Theresa May, the new Prime Minister, has said, I want to trigger it by March. Well, it's the 24th of January. Sorry, it's 24th in Ireland. It's still the 23rd in America. It's the 23rd of January. We only have like 6 weeks. If this goes to Parliament and then we have to debate it, we kind of better get writing this legislation, because we can't write pieces of legislation that are like the Constitution, 5-6 pages long. It has to be this like 10,000 page Word document.
Well, I saw May's little speech where she said, we're going to make the laws. The laws are going to be the same. We'll let Parliament figure it out after we leave the Union. It's like, so these are the laws you're talking about. They have to go ahead and create now.
Oh, no. This is just the actual wording of them triggering Article 50.
Oh, really?
If the court rules that they have to vote. So they put this piece of paper together, and because a lot will depend on whichever judge gives the decision of whether it's, whichever they voted. And the way it's like the Supreme Court in America, they certain words and certain phrases will be key to how they'll draft the legislation. So they've drafted several copies of legislation. So whichever way they rule, and whatever reason they give, they have it ready so that they can go to the Parliament, get it done quickly, hopefully get, in Theresa May's opinion, get this vote done quickly, get people to leave, and then she'll still hit her target of triggering Article 50 by March. However, the left are not happy with this.
No.
So let me give you a quote. The quote, basically they're saying that the bill is too short. That the left have, Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party have actually seen these proposed bills, and they're saying they're too short. They're not depth. And if that the court rules that the Parliament gets to have a vote, well, the first thing we need to do before we have a vote is to create a white paper, isn't it? So they want to make this as hard as possible. And it's just everything that they're doing right now in the courts in England, in the Supreme Court, and the way the politicians are doing, it's pretty much saying to the people, I know you peasants voted, but come on, we were never, ever going to listen to you. But that's not all. You need to know about something else. So, as you might know, or some of your listeners might know, there is 6 counties. Ireland is made up of 32 counties, what you'd call a state. 26 of them, where I'm from, is called the Republic of Ireland, or Southern Ireland, that's what other people call. And there's 6 states up north, which is Northern Ireland, which is still part of the UK. Yeah. It still comes under their purview. So technically, there's, Ireland is broken up into 2. There's Northern Ireland, which is the UK, and Southern Ireland, which is Europe, under European law. So a lot of people aren't happy about this. So there's a crowd-funded legal challenge going on in Ireland, which is basically saying, I know those British people voted to leave, but hey, we're Europeans. We can tell them what to do because they're still part of Europe. So if this goes ahead tomorrow and the judges rule that they can leave Britain and that the people's vote worked, they will then have a case in Ireland, and which will start at the court and work all the way up to the Irish court. And probably, I don't know the ins and outs of the legalities of how it starts, but I would say eventually we'll end up in the European Central Court or the Supreme Court, basically saying whether the British people can say they want to leave Britain or not. And that's happening in an Irish court. Now, can you imagine the audacity of that?
Oh, geez.
It's incredible. Everybody in Europe and media and the politicians are doing their best to say to the people, you don't have a voice. Sit down, shut up, we'll decide what's best for you. And people in other countries are doing the exact same thing. Like, why would you go to Ireland, to an Irish court, and the Irish court is listening to this case, and they're going to be back on the 30th of January, I think the date is, where they're sitting down saying, yeah, I know I'm in Ireland and my purview is a judge of over 26 counties in Ireland, but I'm going to listen to a case of whether a British country, another country, can leave a European Union or not.
That's just, wow, it's unfathomable to me that's what's happening there. That's just, and so let's say this just all goes and they say, all you little serfs out there, it doesn't mean anything, and we're just going to completely disregard your will. What do you? Is there anything going to happen? Are the people going to stand up for that, or are they going to just roll over and say, "Okay, fine"?
I don't know. Britain is a very hard country because it's kind of like America right now in that it's extremely divided. So if you look at the geographics of the vote of Brexit, just the Brexit vote alone, you had Southern England, which is all of the United Kingdom, voted to leave, with the exception of London, which is the biggest metropolitan area. The North, which is Scotland, voted to stay. Northern Ireland voted to stay, and Wales, which is the country on the west of the United Kingdom, voted to leave. So it's 2 versus 2, but Britain is obviously the biggest one. And had the highest population, which is why they won, and won quite comfortably. So it's very hard to see what's going to happen. I would imagine there's going to be a lot more cases because both Northern Ireland and Scotland are pulling for referendums. That if actually Britain does trigger Article 50 and says, hey, we're going, what we're going to do is we're going to apply for a referendum to say separate from Britain, and our first thing as a free nation is going to do is to go rejoin the European Union, which is just mind-boggling to me. The other thing you've got to bear in mind is it was only a couple of years ago where there was massive riots in London and there was a lot of damage done, so you never know what's going to happen. You know, I would always say to people who live, and Britain is a democracy, it's not a republic, right, that you say, if we say to you, have a vote, and then you all have a vote, and then we say, you know what, screw you, you don't have a voice, sit down, we're doing the opposite. I don't think you can predict that. I don't think that's something you can look in a crystal ball, because I think there will be a lot of unrest. And also, you got to bear in mind that there's people on either sides who will just use it as an advantage. They'll wrap themselves up in the issue going, we're really passionate about it, but all we want to do is destroy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anarchists, they basically, it's just, I don't know, we just don't care. Hey, and using an excuse to burn it down. Yeah, oh my goodness, man. So this is, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this, because this is, let's hope that, let me put it this way. I would hope that they would go with the will of the people as opposed to the will of the politician. And with that said, Jonathan, let's go to a real quick break. We'll do our final break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll carry on this discussion a little further then. Joe Hayko is here with Jonathan Dunn here on the Conservative Syndicate. One last break, and then we'll be right back.
History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring. And now back to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
All right. I told you it was going to be a short break. Told you. Jonathan, what you just described to me here with the Brexit thing going on and all the other craziness sounds to me like the same thing that brought us Donald Trump over here. These folks did not listen to people, and as well as Bernie Sanders, as a matter of fact. The parties to be did not listen to their base. All of a sudden, boom, these other people rose up, used the populist message, blah, blah, and this is what we have. I cannot fathom these people not listening to the people that voted.
Well, you also got to understand, Joe, that it's a big game to all these people. You know, it's
people's lives. It's not a game. It's people's lives.
But to them, it is. You see, because the ultimate aim, you can call it socialism, Marxism, progressivism, but you go back to its oldest term, which I use on my show, is statism. What's Aristotle called it? It is the growth of government. You know, I always say this to people. It is a game to them because what they want is more power and more money. Do you know anyone who's living at home going, if everything's going smoothly, which you would like, a nice, smooth politics, obviously you have elections and stuff, but you want things to be, just run, you want things done by the Constitution. No one's going to march for that if people are doing that. If you've got $500 in your wallet, free, you're not going to donate it to the party if everything's peacetime. You're not going to watch the media if there's no bad news. So it's a cycle. They're interdependent on bad news. So, what they want is the left will make bogey issues absolutely have everything, and the right do the exact same thing because they want you motivated, they want you marching, they want your money, and they want you watching the news. It's like the whole phenomenon. I've seen these stories over there at different places where schools have had grief counselors for kids because Donald Trump won.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, you have to understand that's a pretty reasonable thing to have happen, because for 2 years you've made Donald Trump out to be a boogeyman.
Yeah.
Now, I think Donald Trump is one of the worst people ever at politicians. I agree with very little Donald Trump says on policy. Do I think he's Hitler or this type of boogeyman who's going to go kill people? No. I just disagree with his ideology the same way I disagree with Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, John Boehner, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, pretty much every person that serves in your Congress. It's not personal, it's all principles. I have a different set of principles and values. But the media have built this up where they got their audience by going, oh my God, first they said Donald Trump can't win and they laughed, which people thought was great, all these funny skits. Then it went when he was starting to get attention, my God, what if he wins? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And now he's won. You have all these people going, oh my God, the world is going to end because he's won. It's all a circle of empowerment to empower themselves, to drive the narrative, to get your money, to get your, your fundraising dollars, to sell out these speeches, because they don't get that when, it's peacetime. It's not in politicians and media's vested interest to have a peacetime. What it is in the interest is of your people. The one thing I try and say is it's so sad how much you've changed. I grew up, I say I'm not left or right. I believe in your founding and I support it. And everything I do when I talk about it, I'll always bring it back to, because your founders were incredible, incredible men. But America needs to take into consideration what type of people it wants to be. And I hope you choose the path of your founders, because your founders gave glimpses into what was important to them. And one of the most important ones I always say is the signing off of the Declaration of Independence. We pledged to each other our lives and our fortunes. We all know life was important to them because it was said it was the first right from God. We knew fortunes were important to them because they believed in the free market and the individual. But they said one word was so key, we just can't say this word. We need to give it some oomph. And it was honor. And they said it's sacred. That is what we need to be. We need to have the sacred honor. The media won't have it on either side. No. The politicians won't have it on either side. But what we need to understand is you don't need the media anymore. You look at what you're doing on your site, on your show. You're part of the media that has honor and has respect and has dignity. You look at the media I'm part of. I'm with Lanterns. We carry your show on our site. We're part of new media, which is young. Not necessarily, some people have experience, some people don't, but we're bringing all these young voices together who are just eager to share the passions, to share the stories, to give their commentary, to share about the Constitution. That's what we're doing. That is what you have the power of. And even if you don't have a show, you don't need the media to get a news out there. You've got Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, I always share the story of Thomas Paine. Just think tonight of all the things Thomas Paine had to do to write the American Crisis. At every time he could have said, I won't make any difference. I can't reach that many people. You know, it mightn't get to George Washington, and George Washington mightn't read it, and then the people, if he read it, the people mightn't like it and won't be inspired by it. All the things he had to do to get the American Crisis read to the soldiers to inspire them to help win your Revolutionary War. You don't have to do any of that. You go onto your website, go onto Facebook.com and write something. Share your message, inspire people, be part of a positive future. That is what you can do. And if we get to that point where we're empowering individuals, you can make a change. Because I always say this each and every show. America is not great because of Trump, because of Obama, because of the Republicans, because of the Democrats. It's great because of your people. Your people are good. That's Alexis de Tocqueville. I firmly believe in it. Each and every one of you define America, and each and every one of you will make America exceptional. Not great, exceptional again. If you choose to make that sacrifice. But that's the question. Will you make that sacrifice?
Engagement.
History tells me you will.
Yeah.
But I hope to encourage it along the way.
Yeah, engagement. Absolutely. Engagement. Get up there. It's the complacency that's brought us to where we're at over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the politicians, you know, I voted 2 years ago, and it's now their job to do it. Just go do it.
No.
Well, I'm sorry, that might work, but it's not anymore working.
No.
It's up to each and every one of you.
That's been proven to fail because you just can't put these people up, or you hire them and you leave them go. I don't care what kind of business you run. You don't just hire the employee and say, well, you run with it now, and never watch what they're doing. You know, never give them feedback, good job, bad job, you know, whatever. So, and that's what people need to understand is we hire these people because, well, I don't know, I don't have time to be going over to D.C. to go ahead and vote on some law or some legislation somewhere. That's why we hire these people as representatives in our representative republic. You know, so it's like, hey, you guys better stay on top of it. So, but you can't just send them off to D.C. and say, all right, you got the ball. Good luck with that. No, you have to stay on top of them.
Amen. And there's movements out there. You know, you got the Tea Party, you got the 9/12 Project, you got different movements. If you're involved, if you love the Constitution and you're open to different suggestions, you know, Convention of States are doing really good things. And for anyone who's living in Texas, they need 1,000 people to turn up to the legislature over the next few days. If you go to Convention of States and just check that out, I think that's a great movement. I think it's a constitutional argument to make some fundamental deep changes. Obviously, you still have to get elections and make political changes, but they can do really good things because the 10th Amendment is absolutely key, and it is one of I think it's the most important amendment in America because it's one of the ones that makes you exceptional.
If it's used, if they would use
bring power back into that.
Yeah, if they would use the 10th Amendment, I mean, the states give away their sovereignty.
Yeah. And it's been taken from them with money because, you know, you look at over the last 8 years under Obama and stimulus packages under Obama and the GOP, it's been, you know, I tell you what, you do these things and we'll pay for your police. You do these things and we'll pay for your firefighters.
Yeah.
They're originally states' duty and responsibility to pay, but it's been paid by the federal government. So we need to bring that life back and understand that, you know, you're not a democracy, you're a republic. And the 10th Amendment, one of the reasons America's an exceptional nation is because unlike every other nation, the likes of Ireland, England, Europe, the government sets the power and then gives the rest to the states. America is different. America is the exact opposite. America came together as 13 colonies and said, we have these powers and the federal government has these enumerated powers, and everything else is the responsibility of the states.
Yes.
And if we can get back to that point, you will be an exceptional nation. Bring government back as close as possible to the individual.
To the peoples, yes, absolutely. Jonathan, we're coming up to the end of the show, brother, so why don't you tell the folks on how they can get and so they can actually get involved with Jonathan Dunn.
Perfect. Listen, thank you so much for having me on. So I'm blessed to have many different things. I have a show on the Blaze called Freedom's Disciple. It's on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music. You can go to my website, freedomsdisciple.com. I'm also blessed to be involved with Joe behind the scenes with his show on lanterns.buzz. I'm the COO there, which is the head of radio. We're looking for new talent. If you want to get involved, if you want to do writing, if you want to work behind the scenes, if you want to have a radio show like Joe has, get in touch with us. Send us a message at Freedom Disciple on Twitter or lanterns.buzz, BUZZ.
Yeah, just get a hold of us. Yeah, always go to the Facebook page, leave a message, and I'm sure we'll get back to you on that kind of thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Jonathan, I do appreciate you taking the time out for us here, brother. I know it's you're probably getting bleary-eyed there unless you're just go get some coffee, get some Go Juice going, and
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you, man. You're already starting tomorrow for us already, so you're already making tomorrow better, man. You're already making tomorrow better.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you, sir. We'll look forward to doing this again, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. God bless.
You too. All right, folks. Jonathan Dunn. Excellent. Love to have him on. It was great to just go ahead and check out the website. Check him out on Facebook. Check all that fun stuff out. It is at the top of the hour, at the end of the show. Thank you for being there. We love you all. It's good to have you here. And we'll get to do this again tomorrow. And we should have our regular scheduled folks here. So once again, Joe Hakos signing off on the Conservative Syndicate. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.